First it was a tour and racer show. Yes. And then it was a 3B video crew. Yes. And now it's the Deep Cut Podcast. Funk, yeah. But it'll always be buddies forever. We are the deadly duo. There's no one better than Roger and Evil. The buddies forever. We can make you smile when you're in a rut for an hour and some change with the new Deep Cut. Buddies forever. Buddies forever. Buddies forever. On the Deep Cut Podcast.
Aw, yeah, it's that time again for a weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and...
I wasn't even looking at you technically, but I could, in your voice, hear the redirect.
Yeah, the little bit of...
Mid-syllable.
Yeah, there's a little bit of hesitation still, which, I'm going to get used to. I will get used to. Or maybe I'll just start saying something completely different at the beginning of these podcasts. But you don't even know this, so I'm dropping this on you right now, along with the audience. This podcast not only represents the last of the petty cash, but
Shit.
this morning I decided, you know what I'm tired of? Numbers. So,
Okay.
I mean, we have a plenty of podcasts that are on the horizon because we covered Pumpkinhead, so those are going to come out and they will be numbered. But I'm about sick of numbers because with these in betweens, we've been adding the 0.5 to them, and I feel like
I just would have put just the next number on it.
well, I couldn't do that because then I'd have to go and redo all the thumbnails for the stuff that we previously recorded and, all the titles and all the bullshit. And I was not willing to do that. So, because I'm not lazy, but I'm lazy enough. So I was just thinking this morning, what if these just start having titles, a la Blair Witch 2, yada yada.
You're not opposed to adding new work to do currently. It's just you don't want to do back work.
Yeah, I already did it. I don't want to go back and do it again.
You technically don't have to. You could just leave those there where they are.
That's right. So yeah, man. That's I was just like, you know what? I think numbers are going to be a thing of the past. We're ushering in sort of a new era where we're doing these weekly podcasts anyway. We're going to be bringing back live streams. I feel like we're a little reinvigorated. We had this whole past year doing the video podcast where we built the cabin, and that was a new era. We were just trying to feel things out. We're still kind of feeling out that video podcast era, but live streams are going to possibly make the return. Gameplay, because Halloween will come out in 2025 or 2026.
2026. I was like, shit, 2025. Yeah. I gotta get ready.
It's over. Yeah, I don't have enough money for 2025 Halloween. But yeah, man, it's a new era. You and I ready to crack skulls, take names, have a little fun in the process, and I feel good. And I haven't felt good. I don't want to say like in a long time, but I feel like, you and I, we get to where it becomes a job and it's like, yeah. But we hang out, we get together, we do our thing. But,
only Pumpkinhead 4 was a job.
Yeah, that was a rim job that we had to perform.
I wouldn't even say that because some folks will enjoy those. Nobody, like we said, even recording, even Lance Henriksen, I don't think enjoys.
No, I'm over Pumpkinhead 4.
And fuck with him so much. Like if you're like Lance Henriksen, Pumpkinhead 4.
Yeah, dude, you fucking blew my mind in Pumpkinhead 4 when it was raining and you weren't getting wet. That was fucking crazy.
That was awesome. Like, so what, this other movie you did, Predator? Alien, oh yeah, some kind of extraterrestrial movie. That's cool. And also Pumpkinhead 4 again, man. What was the premiere like?
Yeah, I need to know. I gots to know. But
did you just now run out of Sci-Fi Channel paycheck money?
Oh yeah, that Bucharest money. Yeah, the rubles or whatever you got fucking paid in.
Romanian dirt.
Yeah, that's as good as a $50,000 sports car. You might want to hold on to that dirt.
Oh, absolutely. It could have come from fucking Dracula's castle out there.
Yeah, you never know. Boy, howdy. Talking off air just for a brief minute before we hit the go-ahead. You had quite the interesting weekend. So I guess that adds into your watch list. So we're just going to jump right on into that weekend watch list.
Let me get that weekend watch list. Let me get that weekend watch list. Let me get that weekend watch list. Weekend watch list.
And I'm going to let you go, homie, because you had the far more exciting weekend than I did, that's for sure.
Oh, just by pure who I happen to associate with kind of weekend. As far as cinema going experiences went, I'm still the wife's is dragging her feet in my slow approach to finishing any TV series. So we're almost, I think we're one episode away from the wrapping up Melrose Place season 1.
Oh yeah, you really are dragging it out.
Yeah, which is just terrible to say when we've started it maybe 2 weeks ago and there's 32 episodes in the first season and the average 43 minutes a pop, to be like, yeah, it's only 2 weeks and we got through that one. But she's just she's the definition of I need to get her a shirt or a tattoo that's just one more episode, because she is once she gets into it, she will be that one more episode type. And literally last night we went from like 7 p.m. to about 11:30.
Oh dear God.
Doing episodes, and we got to the right before the finale and she's like, come on, one more, we'll do the finale. And I was like, you are telling me with a straight face you're gonna watch the season finale, which is absolutely gonna be made to cliffhanger you into the next season. You're gonna be able to, you're gonna be satisfied enough to call it a night and then go to sleep and not want to do the next one. This is at least 2 more episodes guaranteed. You are not going to be able to stop. Heaven forbid if the first episode of the next season is like a 2-parter.
Yeah, saunters into the bedroom at 4:30 a.m. like,
Like, oh, come on. I was like, nah. I was like, I know you. I know how the game is played. Come on, let's go lay down. I've been needing that, wanting that, and I'm ready for that. I haven't seen her all weekend, which we get to Tarantino this thing. You might wonder how I got myself into this kind of situation.
That's right. That's me right there.
Really tired. Why am I wanting to go to bed on a Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. and not watch a season finale of Melrose Place season 1? Well,
let me tell you.
To tell you that, we got to rewind a few days.
To the lonely grave of Paula Schultz.
Absolutely. So, I have a connection to the AEW wrestling company.
Yes.
And when every once in a while when time comes, I am able to acquire with a buddy of mine access to this event. Now, so far not behind the scenes access yet, or complimentary items or whatnot yet. Just a seat in the arena.
Which is plenty, but I mean,
Oh, that's huge. Absolutely huge. And they had come through my neck of the woods super recently. So, asked, of course, hey, they're coming through town. We would love to go. If it's not something that's workoutable, we are not opposed to, dropping the coin to get into these events, because we had a hell of a time when we went to All In Texas in July. So
yeah, you did, and you had that super sweet or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's just because my partner in crime in the wrestling world is rich in the means of, he has a lot of frequent flyer miles and points and hotel points, so he doesn't really even pay for hotel rooms anymore because of his work travel schedule. So
he's a made guy, if you will.
Pretty much. He's like, yeah. I was like, so how are we gonna, because I'm trying to do a financial budget in my head for such things. He's like, oh, I got enough points to cover a hotel room. Don't worry about it. We're fine. So, Dynamite and Collision, AEW's Wednesday and Friday shows, were taping in town. I have tried for 30 years to make it to the front row of an event. Came close, but I've never gotten that I'm against the barricade moment. I got to experience that for 3 hours and change for Dynamite and Collision. Front row, hard camera side too. So if you don't know what hard camera means, there's a section of the seats that are removed, and that's where all the equipment and a couple of the cameras that aren't moving are set in place. They have a bunch of the cameras on the big, huge, cranes to get all the wide shots, and then the mobile cameras around the ring. But when they kind of cut to that basic shot of the ring that you see on TV, that's what we're seeing. We're looking right at as if we're seeing it as if it was a TV.
Yeah, dude.
But the shit's real, and it's right in front of you. And nobody is obstructing your view. You have the best picture possible, because every time they're going to hit a pose, they're looking at you.
Yes.
Every single time. So that was my Wednesday and Friday experiences, taped all on the same day, but still.
So cool, though. So cool.
Absolutely. I've never gotten to sit in the front row, and it felt awesome. Like, I've waited my whole life to get to this place. And we were able to take my youngest, who's not a fan really, or been to a wrestling event.
Now she is. I'll fucking bet my soul.
To a degree, she had aspects that she liked. I don't think she went as gung-ho as others might, but she did have a good time. I did get a couple of really awesome pictures with her.
Did.
She got into the show, but I did feel bad. I'm like, wow, every event you ever go to with me outside of this is going to be lesser, because you started at the tip top. You can't get a better view or experience than you got to do. One of the wrestlers, Mark Briscoe, wears a bandana out to the ring, threw that out, landed right in the middle of us. So the two we were with got the bandana. So it's like you couldn't get a better first experience. So you're starting at the tip top, and it's only going to get worse from here.
Dude, so sidebar to that, which is connected, which I have told you before off air. I might have talked about it on the podcast, but back in the summer when I took my son to that Insane Clown Posse concert, very similar deal. I was like, I'm starting you on a very high bar. Like, their shows are a spectacle. There's nothing more fun. And I was like, we're going to get there early because JCW, their wrestling promotion, was, they were going to have their wrestling. And I was like, if you're lucky, you're going to catch some of these up-and-comers coming into the arena. And we did. We caught a lot of them who are like JCW's superstars, and a couple of them kept the kayfabe, like, you filthy juggalos and whatever. But we got pictures with a bunch of people. And then same type of deal. They set up the ring, and me, my cousin, and Tyson are right there on the left side of the ramp, hard camera side. So every time, someone comes down the ramp or whatever, bop, they're cutting to us. And then every time someone would lose a match or win a match, the roving camera would come rolling right by us on the other side of the ramp and be pointing at us. And so, he was not necessarily a big wrestling fan, but after that, he's like, wow, And so every Thursday, he's like, JCW is tonight. I'm like, I know, So we'll sit and we watch JCW, and it's like a thing now. And it's like, never in a million years would he have cared a great deal about it. But since he got to be there, now he's like, I know that guy. I talked to that guy. Like, so you start pulling for people. It's a cool little introduction to the world.
It is, and it's... I'll semi let the cat out of the bag. The partner that I went with is our newest tech guy, Rochester. And I believe he has been to events in the past, but it's been a long time since he's been to a wrestling show. And so making it to All In, I think he was just kind of blown away just by the spectacle of it, the environment, and the diversity of the crowd, because it's every shape, size, color, everything. There's just a sea of different folk all together at this kind of event, and he pretty much equates it to like a really like hardcore football game, an NFL game. So he's like, if you ever want to come to a NFL game, I was like, it's kind of the same environment of just 60, 70,000 people all kind of in the same way deal, which this event was about 5,000, maybe 7,000 between the two shows, but
that's like right before it starts getting uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
That's you could still move around. You're not shoulder to shoulder going to and fro anywhere, but he was just in awe of like just the spectacle of a live show. Like watching it on TV is one thing, but I think it's super easy to hook somebody if you start them out at a show and just drop them in and just see what the reactions are like, because it's a whole nother beast to be there in person for things.
And I always say, like, it'll either turn you into a fan or it'll make you be like, I never ever want to do that ever again. And the conversion rate pretty high. And a guy like Rochester, who does what he does, seeing the production side of everything and like actually being in person and not watching it on a monitor.
Yeah.
Seeing the lights change to the cues, seeing all the things that are happening. It's magic, dude. It's a full-on production for you right then and there. Not just for a TV audience where things are getting, camera switches and whatever. This is for you right then and there, and that's awesome.
Very, very much so. So we wrapped up Collision and Dynamite. Had to wait a couple of days to get to Saturday, which was AEW's Wrestle Dream pay-per-view. So our second AEW official pay-per-view we got to attend. And for that event, we were one row back from where we were previously. So we weren't front row. We were the second, but we were pretty much the exact same spot. Hard camera side, right in the middle. So every picture I could get looks like they're stopping to pose for my camera.
So sick, dude. Because
it's hard camera side. And that was about almost a 55, almost 6,000 seat kind of arena. A little bit more floor space than the Dynamite show, but less, balcony, which that was the only heartbreaker, is there was a lot of like taped off areas for the Dynamite and Collision show. It wasn't as sold out as it was previously when I went to that same venue for an AEW show in 2021, and it was pretty jam packed. It was a lot less, but the pay-per-view full of folks. Only complaint I could throw about the pay-per-view is for that it was just me and Rochester going to that. Is both that and All In I went in like, of course I'm gonna save some coin and I gotta get some merch.
Yes.
So standing in the long line for merch, you pick out what you want to get. So by the time you get up there, you can just straight this much for this. I'll take the number 1, 2XL, this 3XL, and one of those. Both times the first two things I wanted were already sold out by the time I got there. This is before the show technically starts.
Yeah.
So the shirt I picked up for Wrestle Dream was actually my third choice shirt because the first two were already sold out in my size. So only complaint is you need to know your audience. Your audience is bigger, taller guys. Probably chubby. You need bigger. You need to go from small to just XL and above. There is no medium or large. They don't exist anymore.
Right.
They're a non-existent thing in the wrestling fan world, especially in America. Don't do it. Just get bigger sizes, bigger sizes.
Take some snowballs and a jumbo Coke.
Yeah. So get into a Wrestle Dream. That is from a pre-show to finish about 6 hours. We were there.
Nice.
And
merch lines, though, dude, merch lines are murder.
They were, because we first got in and looked, and it was a real long line. So we went and found our seats, sat down for the pre-show to kind of start. And by the beginning of the second match on the pre-show, we're like, all right, let's go see what it's like now. And that line was down to nothing. So we just kind of walked straight up to get our stuff. So once the show kind of got rolling, a lot easier to maintain in the merch lines. But not as much stuff as I would have wanted. But I mean, they had a wide range of wild shit. From the replica championship belts to turnbuckle pads that are signed and some that are unsigned. But they have both shows I went to. They had a one turnbuckle, big motherfucker unwrapped, signed by the entire crew that was working that night, like $600 or something.
God damn!
But I was like, how cool is that you could get the Wrestle Dream turnbuckle pad signed by everybody that wrestled that night?
It is sick.
Extremely. You can just get swept up in that moment and be like, you know what, I can worry about that payment later. I want that now.
Yeah. Was there any cinema that you were able to get in, or was that basically like you watched pay-per-views like live in person, which is fucking incredible?
That is.
And then you watch Melrose Place.
Yeah. Wrestle Dream was cinema, sir.
Gotcha.
They had the two biggest pops of the night. Was, of course, Hangman Adam Page coming out, which that's whose merch I've been trying to get a hold of and not found something I like yet. That's been in my size. And Darby Allin coming out was huge. But the biggest pop of the night was the shocker at how that show ended, because it ended with the face Darby getting beat down by a crew of guys. Mm-hmm. Who's going to come save Darby? Darby doesn't have any close allies anymore since Sting retired officially and took off into the sunset. Who's going to help this poor guy? All the lights go out. You start hearing the rumblings in the crowd of who it is. Lights pop back on. There he is, 66-year-old Sting. And that place just came unglued.
Nice.
As he clears the ring with the baseball bat and then hands it to Darby, and I was like, he's passing the torch. It's metaphorical.
Very cool. Very cool.
And it is almost TV related, because I forgot to mention, if you watch that Dynamite, the first thing you see is my daughter Claus. They start on her. So you start watching Dynamite, there she is.
That's so sick.
They were smart enough to see right next to her was me, and they're like, let's start with the young teenage girl instead, and we'll pan down from there. We'll cut him out.
Nice.
Smart move. You do not want to see my face as the first face you see turning on Dynamite on the go-home show for a pay-per-view. So that's the other added bit of sprinkle on this very delicious steak, is going to basically front row seats for the go-home shows for a pay-per-view, then attending the pay-per-view. That's living super fan life stuff. That is straight up
super cool.
100% like on the drive home, like, you just want to sell the shit we got and just get a van, like a touring van, and just become like those.
The Grateful Dead.
Yeah, like we're with the band, but we're not with the band, but we're with the band.
They know us by name. They see us at every fucking place they stop. We eat at the same rest stops they do. Yeah.
We want to become the Vlad the Superfan of AEW.
I didn't have like an AEW loaded weekend.
I probably never will again.
Did I tell you about my road trip Friday?
I think I got a little bit of it. As awesome as it was in St. Louis, the internet was very spotty, because I wanted to send more snaps to you, but the first one I sent literally took the entire show before it actually finished sending to you. So I was like, well, I'm not going to send any more, because it's going to just drain my battery to shit.
It was the same with me, because I had a little impromptu road trip Friday. So Thursday, I'm kind of dicking around on the old face space, and I come across, which to you, I know you are not a fan, and it doesn't necessarily matter to you, other than like you're a collector. So I come across this guy who was getting married, so he basically sold his entire Psychopathic Records collection to a place that was road trip accessible to me. You know, it wasn't close, but it wasn't like a million miles away. And the stuff that was there was in primo condition, and it was rare as rare could be. So I told my wife, I was like, hey, like, I have to go. And so originally the plan was, well, why don't you just go Saturday? And the more that we were talking about it, I was like, this is on the internet. Like, anyone in this area that sees this is going to beat me to it, you know?
You hear that? That's the clock ticking down. That's already started. The bomb's going to go off any minute now. You got to move.
So she's like, well, screw it. Just go Friday morning. So I asked Tyson, I'm like, hey, would you want to skip school Friday and go on a road trip with me to go do this? And he's like, absolutely. So Friday morning, we were up at 5 like normal. We left town before 7 a.m. We got to the store 5 minutes before it opened. And I messaged the people who ran the store. And I was like, what time do you open? And they're like, we're open now, 10 a.m. And I was like, I'm outside. So they let me in. This store was so cool. The guy who ran it was like a 75-year-old punk rock dude who was actively skateboarding in the store. His granddaughter and her husband, and they had like a fat old like Russell Terrier dog in this store, just kind of roaming around. And so we bought a lot of stuff in this store, rare stuff. Then we ate at the food court in this desolate, dead mall, and then road tripped home. So that was my Friday morning into the evening. Watch list wise, I cracked into VHS Halloween, and I know I told you off air.
The Shudder exclusive that I'm still haven't made it to quite yet, but it is
Shudder.
I should be making it into it this week.
I am ready to hear what you think. I saw a lot of people online with their reviews saying like, oh boy, it's a movie, you know, it's not good. And so I was a little nervous, but you knew how excited I was. Rochester knew how excited I was. I was like, I'm getting to it. I'm pulling the trigger. And I sat down and I watched that movie and I had a fucking blast. I loved every segment. There's some cheese, you know, there's some thick, greasy cheese in this movie. But boy howdy, did it feel like 90s October. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, like, did it hit the aesthetic that it's going for?
It feels so good. And there's one segment that I would have lost my house because I was like, I'll bet dollars to donuts this is a Steve Kostansky short. It felt so Psycho Gorman, Manborg, you know, the editor. It had this feel to it. And then we get to the end and I'm reading the credits and Steve Kostansky did not make it. So I literally would have lost my house if I had bet on it. But, dude, it's so silly. And I told you, you know, the previous VHS movies, they kind of have this like almost snuff film grit to them, you know, like where we're going to cut like little in between tapes or whatever. We're going to see like the R word or we're going to see like boobies and, you know, it feels real nasty. Some of those feel real nasty. This one does not feel nasty. This one just is fun. And I couldn't stop smiling. And so I was like, all right,
not
cool.
A movie,
you know, like
not a movie you got to shield anybody from necessarily.
I don't think so. You know, there's
any time of day or
yeah, there's one segment that's a little barbarian-esque. So there's like a monster that has like 6 boobies. But
boy, if that's not a short for YouTube, you saying that on repeat, I don't know what is.
Yeah, the monster with 6 boobies.
Monster with 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, boo, 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 boo.
And they lactate, lactate.
Boobies.
Dingo and the baby. Dude, it's... But other than that, but I mean, and they're clearly prosthetics, you know, so it's like, you don't need to I mean, it's weird, but your kids can handle it, I'm sure. So I did that Friday early evening. Friday night, which this is going to be a bummer to you because we've talked about it off air a few times.
I love bummers.
I rewatched Hell House LLC.
The first one.
And yeah. Because I've watched it once before. I rewatched it. I just don't like that movie. I don't know. I'm trying, you know, and that's why I didn't go on to Hell House 2 or any of the other ones. I was like, because I didn't like the first one. So I'm like, let me rewatch it because I thought maybe it's a Deadstream deal. Because, you know, Deadstream I fucking hated and then ended up being like, this is the greatest thing ever. I rewatched it. I'm not going to say like it sucks because it doesn't suck. Like it's a decent movie. But I was just like, I don't know that I got sequels of this in me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I enjoy this enough to keep moving.
Yeah, in all fairness, the first time I had watched the first Hell House LLC, I started probably halfway through it because the wife was watching it. And I was like, this ain't bad. Like, it's got some spots where I was tempted to just, you know, tune out and see what's going on my phone instead, which may be one of its biggest issues, but it was okay enough. I really liked the second one. Okay. Probably still best. Third one, I don't think anybody likes. You watch it and you're like, yeah, it's like the Halloween 5.
Oh, okay.
Maybe of the movies so far, but they're really, I think, pretty good. Like about that Saw effect of like if you watch them kind of back to back. And you'll hear little things that'll make, you know, your ears perk up. You're like, I heard something about that in the previous movie. What was that? So they're really good about tying a lot of little things together that might slip through the cracks and not hit the radar if you got a lot of gap time between watching them. Like the Saw movies, if you're not watching them back to back, a lot of stuff can slip through and you're not picking up on it.
Right.
This series, I think, is pretty good at that. So minus, you know, Lake of Fire for the third one, the fourth one that came out a year or so ago. We both really dug, and
then there's a new one.
Yeah, right? It's coming end of the month, end of October is when the last Hell House, which is the first one they're gonna do, not found footage style,
right?
Hit Shudder, and that's one we're waiting very anticipatingly with to see how they wrap this up. So
it's crazy to think that there's
4.
Yeah, and that there's going to be a total of 5. Yeah, like 5 of them, and I hadn't really like given the franchise a go. I'll do the second one
out. Give that second one a whirl, because that's the one I'm curious what you really think of. Because first one I was like, first one's thumbs up, but it's a little shaky. Second one, I'm like, yeah, good. I like them. I like 2. 3, it's like I said, it's the Halloween 5. It's the Jason Takes Manhattan. It's the Dream Child. It's like, sure,
take it or leave it type of deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've watched.
Like
it
I'd
twice.
watch it if I have to. Yeah.
It's not a slug to get through. It's like okay. Some may like it. Most people aren't. But you're like, it's not the worst thing I've seen. It's not anywhere near, you know, like unwatchable anymore type cinema. It's like,
yeah, take it or leave it. I didn't write it down, but I did send you a snap. So also Friday, I think it was Friday evening, just for like background noise, which ties into your AEW and your Sting, I had Ready to Rumble on.
I did see that. I did remember you showing me that.
Because I love that movie, and I was kind of in one of those deals where I was kind of bebopping around the house, doing whatever, laundry and cooking dinner and this and that, and just a man of a million tasks. And so I was like, I need something on. And I knew I couldn't put anything like crazy violent on or whatever, you know, or with boobs or whatever. So I was like, Ready to Rumble's cool. That can work. And then, you know, that way anyone can roam through the house and not cause a problem. So it was on. I watched pieces of it. But either way.
You're watching it in your head with the volume anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Sal Mandini. Want to wrestle? How about this? Go get my damn beer. You friggin' morons. Also, Oliver Platt is the fucking king. He's just the man.
He's the king, but I'm like, man, even the first time I saw that in the theater, yes, I paid ticket theater prices to go see Ready to Rumble in a theater.
I wish I did, dude.
And I was like, this dude's the world champion of WCW. No wonder WCW is not doing well.
He plots a massacre with his pack of sissies. Just Oliver Platt as an actor, amazing. So he makes that movie for me big time because he's so that over the top voice that he's doing, and also Jim. Why can't I'm blanking on his name? Joey Pants.
Oh, Joe Pantoliano.
Mm-hmm. And DDP. That's just, it's a fucking fun movie. That's all there is to it. It's fun. Saturday, dipped the toe into the new release world. And it was real impromptu, because I had mentioned that I wanted to do this. And then my wife had a tattoo, and she wrapped up just in time. And she was like, hey, Black Phone 2 is playing at 7. You want to go see it? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And this I'm a bitter old man, bro. We talk a lot about like the theater experience. And I always go back to Freddy vs. Jason. It was like a rock show. The crowd was all into it, and so we get there, no one's in the auditorium, and we're like, oh, it's gonna be a nice quiet night. And this is an R-rated movie. All of a sudden, floodgates of like 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, all the way up to like maybe 14. And I'm talking like 30, 40 of these fucking children. And then some guy comes in with a baby.
Well, you just hit like the trifecta.
Mm-hmm. And Megan and I are like, motherfucker, you know?
I think that's the drawback that both of us were cursed with this weekend, because I neglected to mention for Wrestle Dream, the hotel we were staying at was hosting not only a crew of people for that same day, the St. Louis Blues versus I can't remember who they were taking on, but the Dallas Stars. Okay. So big NHL game going on same day. On top of that, there are 3 or 4 full-size luxury Rockstar tour buses outside of our hotel, all for like high school girl softball games, and literally the whole area is overrun with them. I remember the day we were heading back. I wish I was camera ready. We get in the elevator. We're going down the elevator, and we can hear on the way down. There's like, this sounds like, you know, a party's going on. Girls screaming, yelling. Yeah. Doors open into the lobby, and it's like a surprise party we weren't expecting. Just 70 or 80 at least high school kids just all staring at us, waiting as if they were waiting for us to come out of this door. And I was like, that was weird.
No autographs, please. No autographs, please.
No
I
flowers,
am that
thank
evil
you.
from that podcast, but no. Yeah.
Oh, I should have had them. I should have had my stack of cards and just, make it rain 3B video
Gambited
cards.
their asses.
Yeah. And there were so many of these kids that we got in the car, went down the road a ways. I mean, we're on the road probably 20 minutes or so before we decided to make our stop to get, a morning beverage in. Because the continental breakfast is just out when there's 4 bus loads of high schoolers all tearing it up ahead of time.
You want some fucking Raisin Bran?
Yeah, we passed by probably 2 or 3 gas stations on the way to finally picking the one we stop at. Still, it's overrun with high schoolers outside of it.
Ugh.
It is literally like senior trip. Like there's a whole row of kids just hanging out, eating, drinking, all their candy bars and whatnot. I was in between 2 kids arguing over buying $62 worth of beef jerky in the candy aisle. I'm the devil on the shoulder. I just walk up to grab 2 Kit Kats and I'm like, you should do it.
Get the jerky. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like and I am a cynic because I want theaters to have people in them. I want that communal experience. There's nothing better to me than watching a horror movie with a fucking crowd of people that...
But you want the right crowd of people.
Yeah, that genuinely jump and gasp and have audible reactions to horror. Now, mind you, there were maybe 2 or 3 kids in this theater that were reacting, appropriately and having a good time. 99% of these children staring at their phones, just talking to each other like, oh yeah, so Judy, blah, 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 And then this girl that was sitting right next to us, she maybe 12. She had one friend next to her and then like 6 friends behind her. And she would just like turn and in between the seats be like, what kind of pizza do you have? Do you have pepperoni? I'll have a pepperoni. And then like, so they're passing pizza to each other and then they're just sitting there like giggling and fucking talking about Josh and Joey and all these other boys. And like, they're just having conversations during a fucking movie. And it was so frustrating. It made Megan so mad. First of all, she hated the movie. Let's just get that. She did not like the movie, but she was also like, I'm having a hard time getting into it, because we're just constantly, kids getting up, running around, like Scream 2 at the premiere. Kids running around. They actively were running around. A kid tripped and fell and spilled nacho cheese all over the wall. Like, the most ridiculous fuckery that you've ever been privy to. And so she was so mad. She's like, I want to go up to the Alamo Drafthouse and watch it again, even though I fucking hated it. I just want to hate it in silence on my own, because they don't allow you to talk in the Alamo. You can't get up and leave and come back in that motherfucker. You sit down, you shut the fuck up, and you watch your movie. And we made the decree right then and there. Never again, even though we are friends with the owners of the theater and we get free access, never, ever again will I watch a movie in that theater. I'll drive to the Alamo. I'll spend the money. I'll drink my $10 milkshake in quiet, and I will love my life. I cannot do it. I've officially reached that point where...
Etiquette is dead for the cinema-going audience.
They don't care, dude. They do not care. They're fucking on Snapchat. They're playing like Subway Surfers or whatever. They're just the worst people to be around. And I'm that's why I'm like, I'm a cynic, dude. I'm a 41-year-old asshole. I want to roundhouse kick all of you little pricks. Megan hated it. Sidebar, I thought it was decent. It's very Elm Street-esque. I think you would like it.
Man, what if you go back and watch it and you come out and Megan loves it and you're like, I got to pay attention this time and I don't like it at all.
There are a lot of things about it I didn't like, but I see like there's a really good movie in there. Cargill from Junk Food Cinema worked on it, so I was like, hey, that's my boy. And Megan's like, you don't know him. I'm like, no, I don't know him, but I listen to him, so that's my boy.
I feel like I do.
I do. We're.
No one else.
I can sense that our lifestyles are probably comparable.
No one else in this entire room knows who that is but me.
Yes. I see his name and I go, see Robert Cargill. Yeah.
And everybody else is not even looking at the screen. They're probably not even at the theater at that point.
No. So that being said, I had a decent enough time with it, and I have a sickness. I will buy it on Blu-ray. You know how it is. But I think it was okay. I just fucking don't like obnoxious teenagers.
You don't like the modern audience of today?
I don't. And then as far as Sunday cinema goes, the last thing that I have, which I didn't watch really anything all day, but during the evening, my son was like, hey, let's hang out, let's watch a movie. He's like, how about we watch The Warriors? Because he'd seen pieces of The Warriors, but he hadn't seen it all the way through. So we sat down, we watched The Warriors when we had dinner, and he really liked it. So we've talked about The Warriors on a live stream.
eons ago.
Yeah, you know, we've covered that movie, so I don't need to go into too much detail about it. It was fun, and he had a really good time with it, and he could see why it's a movie that I really, really enjoy. And we kind of had a little conversation of how it wouldn't be a bad time if it was to get remade, but you would have to be really careful about who you cast. You know, you can't have a bunch of fucking Hollywood pretty boys. You'd have to keep that grit and that grime.
You have to go with more unknowns than anything.
Yeah, exactly. So it might work as like a mini series, but it would be cool. I think updated.
That would be probably super ideal for one of the big, like HBO, to do a like 6 episode of the Warriors.
Yeah, and make it so it can be R-rated and nasty, a little bit more violent. You know, I mean, it's a very like slapsticky movie anyway, but like, yeah, up the violence a little bit. You know, make that, because it is about street gangs. Keep the cartoony street gangs, but make the violence a little more gnarly. You know.
Do you keep the same street gangs, or do you update those as well?
You got to keep at least a couple of them. You know, you got to keep the Gramercy Riffs. You got to keep the Baseball Furies.
I feel like that's what was going to happen. There's going to be a ton of new ones, but they'll leave in like the ones that just click in your head that you know probably without even seeing the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the
those
tentpole ones, yeah.
Yeah. But they'll probably Skills That Kills from Dodgeball be in there.
Oh, yeah. Or like, what is it? Kicking It Old School, all the breakdance crews with all their stupid fucking names. But,
more instead of breakdancing than playing dodgeball.
As far as my weekend watch list, pretty limited, like 4 movies, 5 total if you count Ready to Rumble. But I don't get around to as quite as many movies as I used to. There's a lot of moving around going on, especially in October, and you're a victim of the same thing, but we're not complaining about being able to go out and do things. That's for sure.
No, like I said previously, this is the most jam-packed month I've had in probably my lifetime. This is something to look forward to every single week.
It's glorious.
Yeah, we do become a lot more productive when we're snowed in over the next 4 to 5 months incoming. So that's why things are going to start picking up more and more. It's like, well, ain't nothing else to do because it's cold out there and can't drive anywhere, and it's warm in the house, and I'm fine down here.
Yeah, that's going to be the extent of my being productive is podcasts and YouTube stuff, because boy, the cold depresses me, and I really hate being like, I get cabin fever easy. So I'm going to be reaching out to you a lot, you know. I'm going to be like Wendy in The Shining, like just any chance I get to get on that CB radio to holler at you.
Storm's going to be a bad one. I got to get back to policing.
Yeah, well, mind. Over and out.
Stop. For the love of God, stop calling us, Wendy. I have a job, real things to do. I can't sit around and gossip with you about dinner again today.
What are you going to have? Rump roast? Fuck off with your Christmas bull honkery. Yeah. But I suppose, man, on that note, we should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
What's on the menu? Chicken or chicken?
We